Hey, what's going on, everyone? So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Luke Skywalker and Grogu from the Book of Boba Fett. So yes, this set is a little pricey. I found this at Target, but I thought that the Mandalorian episodes and this whole sequence with Luke and Grogu training, I thought that was a pretty good part of the Book of Boba Fett. I mean, the series as a whole was a little disappointing, but I did like this part. So you get like a figure and a half and a ton of accessories. I couldn't resist. And of course, this comes in the deluxe size Galaxy packaging. You got Star Wars The Black Series up top. Here we have a render of Luke and Grogu and some of the accessories that you get. Here we have Star Wars The Book of Boba Fett and Luke Skywalker and Grogu. On this side of the box, you get a picture of what's inside. So you get Luke, he stands at 6 inches tall. You get his lightsaber, and you get Grogu, he's only 0.9 inches tall. Very tiny. You get that little chest that Yoda's saber was in. So you get the hilt, you get the ignited saber. You get this rock, you get some stands for Grogu, and the training ball. You get a little blast effect, a frog, the armor wrapped in the little cloth thing. Yeah, tons of accessories, plastic-free packaging. There's the side with the artwork. Pretty cool picture, and you can see part of Black Chrysanthemum's shoulder there. Love that. Got some nice stuff in the background. There's nothing on the top except some dings. Yeah, thanks, Target. Bottom is the barcode, small print, and logos. And there's the back of the box. Same render as the front. You got a short bio in several different languages. Luke and Grogu is number 7 in the Book of Boba Fett line. And you got some tiny print down there. And I'll just read the bio real quick. It just says, to help him hone his skills and understand the ways of the Force, Grogu trains with a new Jedi Master, Luke Skywalker. Oh, and while I was here, I forgot to mention that Luke, of course, comes with the backpack to stick Grogu in. All right, I'm going to get Luke and Grogu and all these things out of this box. And let's take a look at them. And I thought I would point this out real quick. So when you get the cardboard tray out, there's Luke, but here in this brick, all your accessories. It's pretty cool. And something else that's kind of funny, when I got Grogu out of the bag, this is how he was, stuck in the straps of the backpack. And speaking of bags, make sure you check the bags very carefully, because I almost threw away the little Beskar armor wrapped in this cloth. It's so tiny, and Yoda's hilt, I put it in here for now, but Yoda's hilt fell out of the bag and I had to look for it. So just be careful. These accessories are tiny. Okay, so here's Luke and Grogu and the 13 other things that come in this box. It's a lot of accessories, but I'm going to trim this video down, or try to where it's not stupid long. But this is a lot of stuff to go through. But let's take a look at Luke first. All right, so here's Luke, and the face is okay. And it could be worse. Yes, he did look a little off in the Book of Boba Fett. This looks a little off, but I mean, overall, it's not terrible. The eyes look okay, straight on, but when you tip him down, they do something really wacky. I can't explain that. That's weird. But straight on, it's okay. Nose is all right. Mouth, skin tone's pretty good. Yeah, it's not horrible. It's not horrible. The hair kind of has a little bit of a wash through it. The sculpt is very nice. Now, I think in the show, the hair was a little bit darker than this, but the sculpt is pretty good. The sculpt is not bad at all. Okay, from the neck up, it's acceptable. And from the neck down, it is all black. It's like a black gi, but the details are there. All this looks good. This is great. Some good wrinkles throughout. The belt, how it's tied right there. Love that. Belt just comes around. Okay, nothing going on back there except more wrinkles. And there is no place to put his saber. Okay, there's no hole anywhere to put the hilt, but it's all right. So the arms are the same arms as Luke from The Mandalorian. Okay, the Imperial Light Cruiser Luke. I'm pretty sure these are the same arms, but you got some great detail there. The glove looks very nice. This arm, just all black, but again, some great wrinkles. The legs, again, some good detail, nice wrinkles, and these boots. And no, this is not Farm Boy Luke boots. This is totally different. Some nice detail there, and the shoes look good. A little bit of tread there, kind of slick. Yeah, from the neck down, it's all black, but from head to toe, it looks just like it's supposed to look. And just for the sake of the video, I will run through articulation really quick. So you get some side to side at the head. He's got some excellent down, some pretty good up, and some very good side to side tilt. The arms can get up that far. And of course, they can rotate around. He's got some little butterfly joints tucked up in there. The elbows are great. Past 90 on both. Love that. You've got a swivel at the elbow, swivel at the wrist. You've got a very nice up and down hinge on the right hand, as well as an up and down hinge on the left hand. As far as midsection, you've got some swivel, not much crunch, some excellent back. It does gap just a little bit there, and some very good side-to-side tilt. And for legs, they get up that far. They go out very far. They don't go back very much at all. You've got an upper thigh swivel, a knee swivel, single knees that get up, past 90. There is no boot swivel. Feet go down that far. They go up just a touch, and you do have some swivel at the ankle. So I'd have to say the articulation on Luke is very good. And here's a look at Grogu, and I think this looks pretty good. Got some nice detail in the face. The eyes look fantastic. It's got some hair painted up here. Love that. Nice detail on the ears and the robe. Cool texture here. Very nice wrinkles. Sleeves look good. Hands look pretty good. That's what the back looks like. Is that a spot? Something? I don't know what that is. Yeah, it's like I got a little imperfection right there. It's okay. It's in the back. And that's what the feet, and you have a hole to, plug him into the little stand. Yeah, so that's Grogu, and he does have some tilt at the head. He's trying to focus on Luke. He's got some side to side, and he actually has some up and down, which is pretty good. I love that. And the arms, they just rotate around. Okay, so not a whole lot of articulation, but it gets the job done. So as far as accessories, let's start with the backpack. So this is the same backpack that came with Luke and Yoda. Okay, it's just a different color. And I did find a shot from the show. Yes, these black stripes are there, okay, in the behind shot, and it sort of looks this color, but I also found a shot from the front where this thing looks kind of blue-green color, all right? I don't know where they came up with white, but I don't think it was this color, but this is what we got. But the details are there, okay? The little straps look good. The black stripes here look very nice. It's a cool texture. The straps in the front look pretty good. It would have been great if they would have painted the buckles. And this buckle really needs something. And there's like there's a piece in there to where Grogu can't fall all the way in. Because obviously, he's shorter than the backpack, okay? So they did put something inside there to where his head is going to be up here and him just not falling all the way in. But yeah, that's the backpack. Oh, and just so you know, the little thing that's in there can fall out. And as far as putting this on Luke, that will unpeg, and then you can slip his arm through there, get this over his head, which is a joy. There we go. Fortunately, all of this is pretty flexible. Okay. Now you have to peg this back in, and this is a pant load of fun, just so you know. There we go. Yeah, that's a little challenging, and the little thing that Grogu stands on keeps falling out of this backpack, and you can see that it's beveled there on the bottom. So I don't know if it's supposed to be oriented in a certain way. I have no idea. But I'll just drop that back in there. There you go, make it flat. And Grogu will just sit right in there. So I've got his arms up to make him a little higher. That's what that looks like. If you put him all the way in, he sits about right there. Okay, so that's not bad. It's about right. And you turn his head. Okay, that's kind of cute actually. And of course, you can bring the arms out and move him forward just a little bit to have him sitting like that, and I like that better. All right, but I don't know if I'm going to use the backpack or not. Have not decided how I'm going to pose all these accessories. But for now, let's take the backpack off. Yeah, fortunately, these are nice and flexy, but it is kind of a pain to get off. There we go. Okay, got it. All right, let's move on to something else. Here, let's take a look at this thing. So this is the little chest that Yoda's hilt was in, and it's just a brown box. And if you close it, my lid doesn't close all the way. It's a little warped. It's all right. I doubt I'll use this. But the hilt, which is so tiny, this is what fell on the floor when I opened the bag. It's so little, but you do have some nice detail. If I can get it to focus, hang on. Let's do this. There we go. Great detail on this tiny little hilt. I mean, it looks good. And I'm going to use these pickups to put it in the chest, right there in its little slot. And that's what that looks like. And since we're on the subject of Yoda's saber, there's the hilt with the blade attached, and it's pretty much the same hilt. Looks very good. I love the green on the blade. It's a beautiful shade of green. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And here's a little bundle of Beskar armor that Mando brought Grogu, when they were in this scene. It's, supposed to be wrapped up in a cloth, and it's shaped to look like Grogu's head. which I think is kind of cute. It would have been cool to have gotten an actual Beskar shirt, for Luke to hold up and show Grogu. But this is what we got. We just have it bundled up in this thing. And if I get up real close, the paint detail is nice. The sculpt detail is nice. I mean, this thing's actually kind of cool. And if you wanted to recreate that scene of Luke showing Grogu the saber and the armor, yeah, you can do that. It looks okay. I mean, this is where boot swivel would come into play, right? So you could rotate this foot down. I don't know anyone that sits like this, but it's pretty dang close. I mean, it's fine. Now, this hilt is very loose in Luke's hand. Okay, it just kind of barely sits there, but it does stay put. Yeah, that's kind of cool there. And since we're on the subject of Yoda's saber, let's see how it scales with the original Yoda saber. Well, that's a lot smaller. A lot smaller. Yeah, that's a much better scale. Yeah, just like everything about this figure. This is way oversized. I think this is perfect right here. And here's a look at Luke's saber, and I love the detail on this. The silver, the gold, the black. Everything looks great on this. The pommel end looks very good. And the emitter side, love it. And the blade is a beautiful shade of green. Yeah, totally digging this blade. And it does come apart. It's held on by a tiny peg. And it just goes in there. It's pretty secure once it's in. It's not going anywhere. And as far as this little loop here, there's nowhere to put it on him. There's no hook, no hole, no peg. But it's okay. It's a good looking saber. And as far as Luke holding this saber, I think he holds it very well in one hand. And again, I'm pretty sure these are the same arms and hands as Imperial Light Cruiser Luke. So of course he's going to look good posing with the saber. So here's just a generic action pose, fairly wide stance. He's very balanced. He stands well. And I think this looks nice. And you can get two hands on this saber, no problem. The elbows are great. Wrist hinges are very good. Butterfly joints help. Yeah, two hands. It looks good. And he can get both hands over his head while still holding onto the hilt. That's always a plus. And here's a slightly wider stance with both hands on the hilt. And the saber has a nice glow. I love this blade. It's a beautiful shade of green, and I love the look of this. All right, so we know Luke looks good holding the saber, poses well. And again, this thing actually kind of glows. I love this. But let's move on to this little frog. Here's another accessory. I'm pretty sure this is the same frog that came with the first Grogu when it was just the child. Maybe a slightly different paint job. I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but that's what the frog looks like. And here's a look at the training ball, and this is kind of cool. It's a nice sculpt. It just has some red paint here and there. There's a little hole for it to plug into its little stands. That's what that looks like. And speaking of stands, here's one of them. It's just a long stick that plugs into this base. Oh boy. Man, that's super tight. But being a ball, you can put this thing anywhere you want. And let's see, where's the hole? There it is. That'll just sit like that. Okay, and here's a look at the rock. And this looks okay. I mean, it's sculpted to look like a rock with some like moss painted on there. It's got a little bit of weight to it, which is nice. That's what the bottom looks like. And there's a couple of holes to plug in the stand for Grogu, as well as a blast effect for the ball, the training ball. Yeah, that's the rock. And there's the blast effect for the training ball. It's just an orange stick with a little explosion, like a little impact point on the rock. It's got a little peg for it to plug in, and a little peg on that end to plug into the ball. And this blast effect will just plug in there. Okay, you kind of have to wiggle it in, okay, but it does stay put. Then there's a second spot there for this thing, just this little curved piece of plastic for Grogu to sit on. This will go in here. This you kind of have to jam in there. You kind of have to be careful because it's pretty thin. You don't want to bend it. This kind of wants to get off. There we go. All right, so there's that. Then you can take Grogu and plug him into the other end, his little foot. Okay, you can kind of put his arms up in the air like he's surprised. He's flying off. And then the training ball will go on this end. Got a little peg, like so. There, okay. It works. It's firing a blaster bolt. It explodes. He flies back. Okay, that's kind of cool. It works. And again, I don't know how I'm going to display this. Let me put the frog right there. Frog almost got hit. There's so much stuff to play with in this set. But I kind of like this for now. So I'm going to go stick these guys on the shelf, and let's see what they look like there. And here we are, and this does look good. And again, I'm not sure how I'm going to display these yet, but this is kind of cool. And this little stand right here being ball joints on both ends, you can sort of angle the stand in various ways as far as the angle that you want Grogu flying back. But that is pretty cool. A little frog sitting there. And I just have Luke in just a very generic pose. But, well, these look fantastic on the shelf, and you can see how they scale. Luke is a little bit shorter than Cobb. Now, it's kind of funny, okay? So Cobb, on the box, it said 6 inches tall. It also said 6 inches tall for Luke. You can see Luke is obviously shorter. So, yeah, it is what it is, but they look great on the shelf. I'm pretty happy with this set. So bottom line, it's a pretty cool set. I mean, yes, it's a little pricey, but there's so much stuff to play with. And I can't get over how these sabers actually kind of glow in the light, especially that one. I mean, this is nice. Luke, I mean, it looks good for what it is. It looks like it's supposed to, in this black gi. The face, I mean, again, it could be worse. It's okay. Unless you tip him down. That just looks bizarre right there. But as a whole, it's a pretty good Luke, and he's superposable. Saber looks great. Grogu looks just like he's supposed to. It's a good Grogu, I think. It's one of the better ones. You get a little more articulation, especially in the head. And the arms, the frog, blast effect, training ball, backpack, Yoda's saber, Beskar armor, the little box with Yoda's hilt in it. Very tiny. Be careful. And this stand, the tall stand, it's a lot of stuff. But I'm pretty happy overall. I think it's a ton of fun, but I want to hear from you guys. So comment below and let me know what you think of Luke Skywalker and Grogu from the Book of Boba Fett. And if you enjoy videos on Star Wars The Black Series, please consider dropping a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and please turn on notifications. I would certainly appreciate it, and I just thank you all so much for watching. See you guys next time.